welcome to Past Two Movie Reviews. I finally hit the recording button, so my brother's probably going to try to smack me through the hey. But Lance, tell me again what the weather's like down there in Florida.
It's wet today. Thankfully, we have been very dry, even with the humidity being at 90% most days. So yeah, it's been good. It's nice and wet. And my wife and my second son are finally home from Minnesota. They were gone for like 5 days, so the house is a complete disaster.
I did it! 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 I did it!
Believe it.
Yeah.
What were they in Minnesota for?
Just to visit family. My wife hadn't seen her mom and dad for a while, and she's so much pregnant right now, so they wanted to get up there before the baby got here.
Yeah, she had to see her twin too, right? Isn't there
Yeah, they're such a special bond there. Twin boys are like fighting all the time. I think twin girls get along pretty well. Twin boy and girl, you would think they're dating. They just hang out so much, and I think that's for every twin I've seen with that. So it's kind of a weird.
Yeah, that's
a weird relationship. But you know what? I'm on the other end of it, so we're all good.
Yeah, I once had somebody say, to me when I think I had done a wedding or something, and they were like, my twin will always go before you, and she was saying this to her to-be husband, and I was like, that's not right. Like, just because you shared the womb doesn't mean you share your life with them.
But they were womb mates.
Yeah, but eventually, you can kick your womb mate out. It's time to move on.
Time to move on. Yeah, Jacob and Esau didn't have a good relationship at the start.
No, they try to kill each other. So I mean, but hey, guys, we're talking Masters of the Universe, and no, it is not Masters of the Universe 2026. It is Masters of the Universe 1987. We're going back to the 1900s.
It has the power.
By the power of Grayskull.
It's quite pathetic.
Yeah, it does not. It does not have the power.
It does not hold up. You know what? I had forgotten about this movie. I've seen it maybe 2 times before, and I was like, that part happened in this movie?
Yeah, so as far as like movies that we've reviewed, we've seen them multiple times. This one, ladies and gentlemen, I've seen it once before, and I tried watching a little bits here and there, but it was so bad that I think the other time I tried to watch it, I just turned it off. I was like, I gotta be done with this.
Well, I found out, Lance, that this movie, you may have wanted to say this, but it did not make any money at the box office.
Money.
No? Tell me about that.
I think the budget was like in the 20-some million, which was probably a lot for the 80s. But as you can see, they did not use it wisely. I don't know where it went. I think they made like maybe 8 to 10 million, or I could be wrong on those numbers, but it did not pan out. So yeah, I was like, it actually starts out okay, where I'm like, it actually starts out okay. I'm okay with how it starts. But then as it goes on, you're like, what is happening? What is going on?
It's got that dark 80s sci-fi fantasy vibe where they kind of give you that little background story about this is what's happening in this world of Eternia. And it's got like the background to painting, and which is kind of normal for the graphics of that time.
Yeah.
And but yeah, this was a movie based off of I learned this because I was just curious. Made from a toy that was turned into a comic book, then to a cartoon, and then they finally tried to make the movie. But this was within a 5-year span of them first releasing the toy, so it was pretty.
Really?
Yeah,
so the toy was that popular.
Yeah, I mean, you probably remember this reference, but Ghostbusters 2, when they're going to that birthday party, Venkman and I can't remember the other guy's name.
Stance and Zeddemore. Yeah.
Oh yeah, wow, I'm off on my names. It was not Venkman, and they're all doing their Ghostbusters song, and then the kids are like, He-Man, He-Man.
There's something strange in the neighborhood. We gonna call. And it don't look good.
He-Man.
I wonder what iteration of He-Man they were referring to. I don't know if it was the same studio. Maybe they're trying to boost it. Maybe they're trying to promote it, but I was like,
I don't think so. This was a different studio, which I think shows the quality of the movie, and just kind of like your editing shots with some of the editing. If they could have fixed it, maybe the movie wouldn't have been so bad. But just how they kind of designed some of the features were they're very funny.
it makes you wonder, where did the money go? Where in the world did any of this money? You know what actually makes me think of when it starts out, though? It reminds me of like Never-Ending Story or The Dark Crystal, which are iconic. The Dark Crystal is a little bit more nuanced. It has a cult following, but the Never-Ending Story, because there's like that high tower, but the thing about this movie, it has nothing to do with the comics, although it seems like it was trying to make a continuation in the story, but it doesn't feel like it. There's not a lot of the same characters. I don't even know if they're all the same toy. Like, I feel like they made up characters and they were bad. Like,
yeah, as long as you had He-Man and Skeletor in there,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's what they were going after. They were trying to give him like the yin and the yang, like you are light and I am darkness, or I'm good and you're evil, or very, very much an 80s thing. There's even another movie called Legend, and it says, without darkness there cannot be light, without hate you cannot have love. And
yeah, there's a big fantasy push, I think, with all those films. I wonder, though, with the movie, when you see He-Man, he never goes from Adam to He-Man. He only does the "I have the power" at the end of the movie, and I think you're like, okay. And by then it was really weak. Dolph Lundgren was there to collect a check, I'm sure. He probably did not care.
Well, I don't know how many movies Dolph Lundgren had done at this time. I can't remember when Rocky IV came out, but I think from perspective, Dolph Lundgren was trying to get his career going.
Yeah.
Whereas I think you've got Principal Strickland from Back to the Future playing a detective. He even calls one of the guys a turkey, which I'm guessing when people saw this movie, he's like, hey, can I say that name turkey? Because that's what I say in my other movie.
And he plays the same character. It's the same exact character.
Yeah.
And you guy, this guy's a one-trick pony, at least on the two movies or the three, actually four, if you include all three of the Back to the Future. But he at least does better in Back to the Future. I mean, Robert Zemeckis was a good director. I don't know who directed Masters of the Universe, and I hate saying that we don't know, but it's not enough to care about it.
That's so true. Yeah, I mean, I do feel something. There's a lot of people that probably enjoyed this movie when it first came out, and kind of grew up with it. Especially if you were probably born in the 70s, you would have known this from your childhood. So it'd be like a childhood movie, like a lot of nostalgia. For us, we just missed it, where it's like, this is like, we would have remembered the cartoon, but even that was a little gone at that point.
Yeah. For the cast of this movie, though, too, I was thinking, they had a pretty tight cast list. Like, there's some well-known people in this movie, and they couldn't get it off the ground. That just couldn't go anywhere. I'm sure they thought it was going to be a blockbuster. I'm sure they thought there's enough He-Man fans, but they strayed so far from the comic and from the TV show. Like, that was where everybody wanted to see He-Man with like the cross, and everybody wanted to see Skeletor as the blue or the purple. Hey man,
When are you goody-goody fools going to understand? I am completely and utterly evil. I live to be bad.
Yeah, there's a lot of Skeletor memes out there. I'm sure everyone's really familiar with them, where he gives you some sort of whip of like fake wisdom and then he runs off till we meet again. There's another one that I really like that I heard on this morning talk show when I lived in Minnesota. And it's just Skeletor and he's saying the word what? And that's all that the clip is. Yeah, he goes, what? So if anyone's interested, type in Skeletor says what, and then you'll enjoy it. You just got to keep hitting replay. It's kind of one of those weird, dumb things to do, but it's funny.
My gosh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. Then you've got He-Man doing something with the techno disco lights, which is, enthralling.
With the cartoon, they were able to like syndicate it really fast, but I'm thinking they reused animation all the time. Like it's the same animation. You probably noticed it, very blocky, and you could make the mouth do what it needed to, but there wasn't a lot of movement, so you didn't have to worry about it. So that's where they were able to syndicate, and they're all paintings in the background. You're like, oh my gosh,
it was a lot like a Scooby-Doo flick, where the Hanna-Barbera, they just cheap comics, but everyone liked to watch them, so it worked. Yep.
So Lance, I didn't know if you noticed, there's some young actors in this movie. He was a star he was Tom Paris in Star Trek Voyager. So he was a big time Star Trek guy. He was also in Next Generation, I'm sorry. And he's a big time sci-fi director. And he's actually, I like a lot of his stuff. He's really cool. So people would know him from that, but they probably saved the movie just by the fact that they're so young. But the other person, Billy Bardy, in this movie, I know we talked about Dolph Lundgren, but I want to talk about Billy Bardy for just a second. I think he saved the movie. I think Billy Bardy just acting a goof. His makeup was okay, but like he had some of the better dialogue. He was able to deliver it in such a way that it was fun. And when he's talking to the cow, boo, 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 and he's just goofy, and I at least can appreciate that. But so just those three actors may have been the ones to save it. Dolph Lundgren, I'm sorry, man, not the best.
Yeah, well, Dolph Lundgren. So I guess from what I researched, and I didn't research a lot in this movie, he had written in his contract something. So he's a Swedish actor, and so he didn't know English very well when he was trying to do this movie. And they were thinking about dubbing his voiceover with another actor's voice so it wouldn't sound so bad. But in his contract, he got to say his lines up to 4 times. So that's Dolph Lundgren's voice that you're hearing, but you can tell it was dubbed in a studio, and it's not him during any of the scenes. And I think they did that for a lot of the actors at certain points, because things don't match up with their mouths while they're talking. And but yeah, when you go back to Billy Bardy as the little troll or dwarf, whatever they call him, his voice that must just be his voice, because he's in, again, we've referenced it, the movie Legend. He's in that. Yeah, he's in Willow, and he's the High Elwyn or whatever. This movie is special. This movie's really special.
He was. I like him. I think
enjoyable.
I think another actress. She had some better lines. Meg Foster. She's known for her piercing blue eyes. She was in They Live. If people haven't seen They Live, go watch They Live. It's a great sci-fi. Lance, I don't know if you've seen it.
But I've heard that one's good.
Yeah, it's good. But Meg Foster, actually, she has a stunning look until you're like, oh, her wardrobe is terrible. Like, I don't know. They have spent some money on the wardrobe. Like, Dolph Lundgren has no clothes on. He just has the thing. He-Man had more clothes. I mean, the cape, you can't count the cape. The cape was too much. I was like, come on, let's go. And but there's other ones in this movie that were great. But I'm trying to think. The one thing I think that saved this movie as well, I'll just say, there's a couple good lines. There actually are some decent lines. Somebody actually wrote some good things. They probably snuck it in there. It could be dubbed. I don't know. But when they talk about the journey, when they quote the journey or good journey, that was never in the cartoon. I don't know if it's in the comic, but when they say good journey, they're talking about, the destination of each journey is the start of a new beginning. I paraphrased it, but I was like, that's actually the rest of this movie written with that idea. Like there is, I was like, oh, that's touching. Oh, the movie's over. Oh,
Yeah, they really. I feel like they kind of shoehorned it in because it was right at the end where they're like,
Yeah.
"We don't say goodbye, we say good journey," and he goes, "Good journey." And then they all said it like 16 times. You're like, yeah, it's like that part in the movie Spies Like Us where they're meeting all the other doctors. Doctor.
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 Doctor? Doctor?
Doctor?
Doctor?
Doctor?
Doctor?
Doctor?
Doctor?
Doctor?
Doctor?
Doctor?
Doctor?
Doctor?
Doctor?
Doctor?
Doctor?
Doctor?
Doctor?
Doctor?
Doctor?
Doctor?
Doctor?
Doctor?
And doctor. Well, we miss anyone?
See, that's funny. That's funny way to do it. But then you've got this movie where they were trying to hit the humorous parts, and you could tell like whoever's laughing at this, they probably like were 5 or 6 years old at the time.
oh,
You know,
yeah.
they had their He-Man guy playing with them.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's ridiculous. Oh, I want to talk about Blade's outfit. I was like, who is designing these things? And he's like, eh. And then his one line is like, I've waited a long time for this. I'm like, for what? You've never fought He-Man before?
Well, I like when they're interrogating Kevin, and he's got his little blade, and he's like sticks it real hard next to him in the table, and it's kind of like, whoo, and you hear a little thud thing, and they're like, they get the information or whatever they want, and then they're
Yeah.
leaving the room, and he grabs his little knife, and he's like, he makes his face like he pulls it out, but you don't like, there's no sound that it makes. There's not like this intimidating like music or anything.
Mhm.
So it just looks, it's just so stupid, and it's funny. Just if you want to get a good laugh from this movie, you got to laugh at all like the choices. There's another time when they're fighting in this alleyway, and He-Man opens up this gate, and they're all kind of rushing up to the stairs, and you could tell the gate, it falls back onto his back, and it wasn't supposed to do that because he turns around, he's like, oh, and he shoves it back. But I mean, weird editing choices like that. That's just that. I mean, you could tell it was a limited budget. They're like, we got like one chance to make this work, and
Oh, man. But you still couldn't make. It looks like he could barely keep that thing up. He's like,
yeah.
hey man.
I have the ultimate power, but now I can't move very well.
This was a bad choice.
Milk was a bad choice, Skeletor.
Oh, speaking of milk, what did your daughter think of this movie?
So my 3-year-old, maybe she's a little young to watch this movie, but I'm like, viewer discretion. And all of a sudden you see He-Man turn around, and he's got quite the pecs. He's got a shelf, and she goes, he has lots of milk, Daddy. And because she knows where the milk comes from, and oh man, that was too good. My other kids, my third son, they were seeing all these. They were like the stormtroopers that from every time they saw one, they were like, "There's Darth Vader." So that was pretty funny.
Are those robots or those people? I don't think that ever explains it.
Yeah, I wasn't too sure.
Like, there's just so many weird choices. I get it when you go from a cartoon where you could do anything you want, and then you go to this thing and you're limited, especially at that time. Now you can do whatever you want, basically. But they didn't bring in people like Orko. Maybe that's because of the hovering. That would have been weird. And then there was lots of characters that I was like, I've never heard of this character before. They run through their characters pretty well in the cartoon. These characters never show up. Lots of just weird stuff.
Well, you never see him ride around on his big tiger either.
Yeah, where's Cringer? Where's Cringer?
I'm glad you remember his name. Cringe. He was too cringe for him.
Man, I'm pretty scared.
That thing can talk too.
Yeah, Cringer can talk.
Oh my gosh.
And then Beastman. Beastman went from saying he was actually quite intelligent for the most part to just and I was like, boring. So boring. Lance, I don't know if you noticed this. Guy who really needs help. But you know what? The music stuff, we paid a lot of money. Let's get that out. And you see Kevin like, what? And I'm like, dude, perspective. And why would you pull all the music equipment? It's gone.
Well, I don't know if you noticed when they're in the music store and they're having the big fight. I was watching as like you'd see like the lasers kind of hit like a keyboard or something like that. Like, man, not a lot of things are getting blown up, or you kind of see like a little spark or explosion. It was a lot like Star Trek, you know, where they're shooting like their phaser and you see like the sparks, but you don't see anything like kind of blow up or like practical effects were, you know, for once in this movie.
Well, I mean, even just practically, I mean, speaking practical, they're like hiding in the back room and they're like, it sounds like a war zone. I'm like, if they were, you know, there would be shots coming through. You'd be getting ducking for cover, and instead you're just like, it sounds like a war zone out there from one wall to the next. And I'm like, what? Not even trying to be realistic.
Yeah, there was some weird flow. I mean, so during that time where they're having that battle, all of a sudden Courtney Cox,
she didn't seem all that mesmerized by it. She's like, my mom's here, so I better go out there. Like there was it didn't feel right. It didn't feel like they tried to just like, hey, just stand here and just start waving and we'll make it work.
Well, I think the movie's Spaceballs came out the year before. You remember Lord Dark helmet?
Yeah.
It's like the same exact thing. Fooled you. That would have been funny. Would I lie?
Yogurt. I hate yogurt. It was strawberries. Or even strawberries. Anyway, I don't know, Lance. There's not I tried to look up some quotes in this movie. The one and I was like, that's actually a good one. Oh, and then Detective Lubick, stupid. This is a stupid one. The only thing I will miss about Earth is the World Series. I'm not even going to go farther down this quote. It's bad. But like, Detective Lubick, here's what I don't understand. They win the battle. It does like a fade, a dissolve. And then you see Kevin and Julie coming up. They're walking up and he's like talking to the detective. All of a sudden, the detective is like, he's just like a woman. Like he's got this girl. He's dressed in a tunic and he's like, I'm sticking around. I got a woman. I'm like, how much time has gone past? What in the world? There must have been some crappy scene. They're like, oh, we can't make this work. Okay, never mind. You know, but
yeah. Like it would have helped if, like, during the battle, he the detective saved that girl. She was like some stand by somebody and whatever, but that wasn't it at all.
No,
I mean just having, it was such a weird scene. Like just editing choices were just awful in this movie.
Bad.
Yeah, I like because they wanted to wrap up everything, and then they gave the ending scene. There's like this little like wrap everything up in a bow. Like, the guy that was so strict, he's gonna stay now, and he's weird.
Well, here's what's I'm not sure about this choice. I get it. Like you want to have an idyllic ending, but Julie, they go back in time. They remember everything that's happened. She's lived through her parents' death once, but then they come back to life the day that they're supposed to die. And she steals the keys. Okay. And then they're like, oh, we remember. But I'm thinking about that. And I'm like, but their death is what helped shape her. So now her character arc does it even mean anything? Like, it goes back to the way it was. So she's going to stick around only because her parents are alive. And I'm like, I don't know. I just don't feel like that's anywhere realistic. And that puts false hope into kids, I guess, if they're watching it. So don't think that your parents are coming back from the dead, because that is never going to happen. But like, that's what shapes us, is the events and things that happen in our lives, and we need to embrace it. And instead they're like, nah, we don't like that. We're just going to make him come back to life and be really impractical.
Yeah, I mean, there was no reason that you had to bring them back to life. I mean, they try to do some cheesy scene early in the movie. She goes, yeah, it's our last date before I fly off, but I need to go talk real quick with somebody, my parents. And then you get there like, it was all my fault. I killed them. And then you're like, shut up.
Yeah, there's some bad dialogue. You know,
Yeah.
it would have been better to bring them back to that night so they could actually, you know, go on this date and she could decide to stick around. I would have been okay with that, because it would have mean that that time that happened nothing happened to the town. But at least they could have said, oh, you know what, like, let's have a do-over at this time. But instead they're like, nah, we're just going to bring people back from the dead, because that makes more sense.
Yeah. I mean, and again, it was a weird thing to have in the script or with the editing where Gwildor or Billy Barty, his character,
Yeah.
he was like, also, we could send you into the past. You're giving us all this information right at the end of the movie, where you could have mentioned that at some other point, like, oh, we got to be really careful with this device. It could send you 1,000,000 years into the past and you don't know what would happen. Like, you could be like, oh, this thing can go into the past or the future. Like, there's all these reasons why Skeletor really shouldn't have this thing. And they don't reference it until the very end when everything's all done.
Irresponsible. That's just irresponsible storytelling.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
Haven't they seen Back to the Future?
Yeah. Strickland should have known better.
Yeah.
Yeah. He should have been, you're a slacker, director. A slacker. Oh, just like your father.
I told McFly once. All right. No, but, well, I know I don't have much to say about this movie, but here's the thing. If you want to watch because you love Masters of the Universe, if you love He-Man, watch it. It's not if your kids want a pretty clean movie, you can watch this movie. If you like Billy Barty, watch this movie. If you like Dolph Lundgren, I'd probably watch Rocky 4.
Yeah.
Break you.
Or The Expendables. Small fact, he did a Punisher movie. I think it might have been the first Punisher movie, and obviously it's that forgettable because no one knows it's around.
Never even heard of it.
But now it's canon, and everything's canon now in the Marvel universe. We can talk about that some other time. But yeah, just watch this movie if you want to have an awkward time trying to explain it to your kids why sometimes 80s movies were terrible. But
yeah, I mean, screen choice was crazy. Skeletor, they have him talking to the screen the whole time.
Yeah.
Or to the camera, and it's really distracting. Like he could have talked to the camera, but what he does, he shifts his eye focus the whole time. He's either reading his lines or he's shifting the way his eyes look into the screen. Like, you could probably see me like, oh, I can't, Anyway, it just was so distracting, and lots of close-ups. But that was like anytime he was going to talk, he was looking like right into the camera doing his stuff. Yeah. I think Eva Lynn was the better bad guy, just very stoic. And again, her pale blue eyes really, they kind of trap you. And you could tell why she would be like some enchantress or sorceress and things like that.
And it seemed like it wasn't the acting completely. It was dialogue for the most part. And you're just like, oh. So the writing suffered greatly. You can tell that this movie was like, we got to capitalize. That didn't happen.
Yeah. The Writers Guild must have been on strike again or something.
Oh gosh. They should have hired a great writer, but it happens. There's not a lot of bad writers out there anymore. All the bad ones do really bad movies, and no one watches those. But
I don't know. Transformers makes a couple $1 billion here and there.
If you have big enough special effects, that's all that matters.
Yeah, you just got to get things that blow up.
That's right. Well, hey, I remember this. This is a memory, Lance. I don't remember if you remember this. Grandma Richards, she had He-Man action figures. I don't know if you remember this. She
Wow.
definitely had Skeletor. I think she had the water guard for Barry, and there's another one. She might have had Ram Man, but she had a couple He-Man action figures that I wish I
Wow.
would have swiped now. Even being played with, they would have been worth some money. But
Well, she used to babysit some kids that were probably 6 or 7 years older than us. And again, going back right to that prime time where you could have picked up those toys, that would have been it.
But yeah,
I'm
I think the two pair of twins probably played with those that we
I
know
think
well.
so.
You know who you are.
Yeah. Yeah, we know you're watching this podcast too.
Yeah, we know you're watching. Well,
Yeah.
Lance, there's not much to say about this movie. I'm done with it. So I'm glad we did a flop because it kind of breaks up the monotony and we get to make fun of it. And
And again, if it's your favorite movie or if you hold this high on your stuff, we're sorry. It had to be done.
Had to be done.
Yeah.
I'd rather go watch the new Masters of the Universe. It looks truer to the comic, truer to the
Yeah. I am excited to see that one.
Yeah.
I will watch that one.
And it's a funny movie coming out in this day and age. Somebody called He-Man.
And Adam.
And Adam. Hi, I am Adam. Well, Lance, we only have a few minutes left, but was there any closing thoughts you had?
Man, I was gonna look up a quote from Skeletor, but there's really nothing good.
No.
Fool, you are no longer my equal. I am more than man, more than life. I am a god. Now you kneel. And then He-Man doesn't kneel, so that's it.
That's bad.
Actually, I do like when He-Man does grab his sword after it's got all like the lightning on it, and then he says, "I have the power."
Yeah,
It's
finally.
gonna sound, yeah. Finally, you hear it. In my opinion, it was kind of worth the wait because it did give me a little bit of a goosebump chill. I was like, "Ooh, that was kind of
Right.
cool and I guess that is a really cool part because this movie was terrible. And with that being said, maybe watch the movie just for that little bit of a scene and you can turn it off.
If you like Grildor,
Ooh, yeah. Oh, you gotta play the instrument like this.
it's a Japanese synthesizer.
What?
I thought they were already Japanese synthesizers. Oh man. Well, Lance, it was good to talk to you again. I think that our next episode, I don't know, we'll have to decide that. But I'm hoping our Goonies episode would have dropped before now. Hopefully everybody enjoyed that one. We'll be picking up some more fun movies here along the way. But well, I hope that everybody has a good night or day or whatever it is you're watching, and we'll talk to you later.
Peace out.
Peace out.